Hi, today I'm going to do Dewey's 24-hour read-a-thon wrap-up. So first up, I read Tim Burton's The Melancholy Death of Oyster and Other Stories, and these remind me very much of limericks and like short poems. I really enjoyed it. I found it was really fun. Let me show you some drawings. I think the drawings really make it, and I thought it was really fun. I thought some of them were really sad and others were really funny. I loved Voodoo Girl. I just think it's so classic Tim Burton, so I really enjoyed this. This actually took me half an hour to read. It was really quick, really easy, so definitely pick this up. I then read Calling Dr. Laura. If you saw my update video, which I'll link down below, it's just all about this book. I'm like, I just loved it. This is amazing. This is a graphic memoir by Nicole J. Georges, and it's basically, she goes to see a psychic. The psychic says to her, the person you think's your dad, he's dead. But your real dad, he's not dead. And it's all like, oh my god, what's going on? And then it's just about her life. It's a self-memoir, but it's difficult to explain because it's not a memoir of her whole life. It's just a short time. So she's in a relationship and it's highlighting that, and then it's flashbacking into her childhood, and that's it. Let me show you the example of the drawings just so you can see. You've got these ones, which are like a lot of lighting and shading and beautifulness. Stunning. And then you've got the ones when she goes back into her childhood. They're very simple drawings, as you can see there. I just love this whole book. So it's difficult because I don't want to ruin anything for you, but I really want you to buy it. I would say this is my first graphic novel, and the reason I don't read graphic novels is because I find them very expensive to buy, and so that's why I don't get them. I've read some at the library and I've enjoyed them, but this is my first one I've actually gone out and bought, and it's so worth the money. So the bits that I liked within it is it shows you her relationship with her mum. Let me put that down. So her relationship, it's her and her two sisters. They grew up together and they all have a completely different relationship with their mum, and I find that fascinating because I'm an only child. I will never have that, like I have no one to share that relationship with, and they all treat their mum differently and they all think about their mum differently, and I love that whole concept. And there's such a beautiful bit in it where Nicole's in the car with her mum and her mum's having a go at her, and her mum is turning slowly into a lion and Nicole is turning into a hedgehog and rolling up in a ball. Oh, if that doesn't make you buy it, then I do not know what will, because that is such a lovely image to have. Such a good book. I love her coming out story. I loved her relationship that she was having at the time. I loved her relationship with her mum. I loved when her sister came. I just loved it all, and I felt like in other books, sometimes you're trying to flick past bits. You're like, oh, I don't enjoy that character, so I'll go past. I enjoyed everyone, and that's why I think this is such a fantastic book. I then read Burial Rites by Cann. I know a lot of people love it. I get that. I do like it. It's about a girl called Agnes. It's in Northern Iceland, 1829, and she was the last person to be hung. In my update video, I wasn't sure, but she was. So she's a real person, and this is be classed as historical fiction, and you know she's going to be hung throughout the whole book. That's already been set. And so she has to go and live with a local family, and they have to keep her there, make sure she doesn't run away and everything until she's hung. So the family is obviously not happy, and as I said in my update thing, they live in a very small house. They're quite poor, and so they don't actually have proper doors. They have curtains as partitions, and imagine having this murderess. She killed two men. She stabbed them, hammered in their head and burnt them. You obviously don't want her living in your house. And it's told from Agnes's point of view, and then it flips to Margaret's point of view, who's the mother of the house, and then it flips from the Reverend's point of view, because she is allowed a spiritual advisor in this book, because when you're on death row, and in America, if you're on death row, you are allowed a spiritual advisor to come and visit you however often they want to visit you, and you talk to them. I have just read the book, oh my god, where is it? A Change of Heart by Jodi Picoult. Same concept. So in this you have a man on death row and his priest comes to visit him, and he slowly tells his priest what actually happened and if he did commit the crime. That's what Burial Rites basically is. So I'm sure there's a lot of books on this nature. I did enjoy it. I felt like I didn't enjoy Agnes. And that was my problem. I really enjoyed Margaret, the mother of the house. I feel like she really grew throughout it, and she started off so hard, and then she, you know, she was just a well-rounded character, I felt. But I felt Agnes was a little bit ungrateful, and I understand she's going to be sentenced to death. I understand that. And there's sort of this air of, is she innocent? Is she guilty? We know she's going to be hung. What's happening? You don't quite know. But I just felt like the family gave so much to her and welcomed her in, and she'd never really been welcomed in, because the really interesting bit is that it tells you about her childhood and her life, and she's never really had a family and a loving network, and finally they're sort of allowing her in, and she doesn't give them anything. She doesn't give them anything back. I did enjoy it. I recommend it. I recommend buying it. You know, how much is it? $7.99. It's worth $7.99. Go and buy it. Fabulous. One thing, hate the cover because it's rubbery. What other book has, oh, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell has this weird rubbery cover, and after reading it, it made my fingers feel really weird. Almost like, I don't know, like my fingers went real. Like, it was so odd. If you have a rubber book, just hold it in your hand like that for a while, and it will make your fingers feel really odd. So I don't like these rubbery covers, but I did enjoy this. It's a nice read. It's not a nice read, it's very sucks the life out of you, Jesus, I thought I was going to kill myself. But no, it is quite depressing, but that's inevitable. It's enjoyable. Read it, pay $7.99, and you might love it better than me. And then last but not least, this is another short book. I did it in half an hour. It's called Crow Girl Rises, and this is by Hannah Cann, and it's a short story about a girl who, starts a new town, and she sort of gets bullied, and then she has to get the crows to come in and help her. I don't want to give anything away because there's actually a lot of spoilers that can happen within this book. The cover, look how beautiful that cover is though. Shiny, stunning. But I do really like it. It's really good. It also says on the back, this book is also dyslexia friendly. I'm dyslexic. So yeah, I enjoyed it. But it was overall very good. I probably even give this like 5 stars. Because I did enjoy it. It was good for what it is. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. I loved the readathon more than anything. I thought it was amazing. I loved how we all got talking on Twitter. I think Dewey would have loved it. Dewey, if you don't know, was a lady who started this readathon. And she unfortunately passed away, and so that's why it's been named in tribute of her. And I'll link down below blog posts that people have written about her, and she seems like a really inspirational person that wanted to get the community together, and I really feel like she's done it. Like, she did that amazingly this year because everyone came together. I'm sure she would have loved it. So I loved doing the readathon, and I loved the books. Calling Dr. Laura is absolutely amazing book. I don't recommend you read it in a readathon though, because I think you need to sit down and enjoy it and savour it. But it was great. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very soon.